Congratulations. Hi. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hi, Coach. Joining us now on the dais from South Carolina, head coach Don Staley, student athletes Kaela Davis and Asia Wilson. We'll take an opening statement from Coach Staley, and then we'll take some questions.
We're excited to be here, playing in the third weekend of the NCAA tournament, and look forward to the challenges that lie ahead of us.
Thank you. We have 2 microphone holders. Please raise your hand. We can take questions for the student athletes at this time. Question right here. Can we get a mic over here? Thanks.
Hi, Kaela, Howard Magdell here. I'm curious, all season long you've been most efficient on the spot-up shooting, but obviously your game has had to evolve even, beyond that here in the NCAA tournament. What do you see as that growth, and in what areas beyond the spot-up has been most effective for you during the NCAA tournament?
I think it's just been attacking the paint, just being more aggressive and not just settling for jump shots, but just kind of looking past that first defender and like I said, just trying to get points in the paint.
Student athlete question right here.
Asia, Gene Zapikoff of the Charleston Post and Courier. You're from South Carolina. You know all the great things about the state and some of the not so great things. What do you think it's like to have 2 minority head coaches representing the state and the school in the Final Four and just be such good representatives for both the state and the school?
I think it's a great thing. Like you said, I'm from South Carolina, and just to see the 2 coaches really come up and really change our program and build our school and just bring something so positive back home into the state of South Carolina is always a great thing. So I love this feeling, and I love this sight that I'm seeing, and it's just the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit for both of these programs.
Anything else for the student athletes? Right here in front.
Doug Feinberg, DAP. Asia, you were here a couple of years ago in the Final Four. What did you learn from that experience? And as one of the veterans of the team, what have you told the younger ones who have not been here before?
I've learned that it is just a different feeling. It really is. I mean, when you got to play and you don't know if the next game's guaranteed, you don't take anything for granted. And that's something that I really want to tell my teammates is the biggest thing I've been preaching is I don't want my teammates to feel the way that I felt last year and the year before that. It's not a good feeling. So I really want to try my best to kind of get this team to not have that feeling. We want to have the opposite feeling of what I felt. So that's something that I've really tried to make them aware of. And just I'm pretty sure they all know that you really can't take this game of basketball for granted.
Question right here in the corner.
Hi, good morning. Elliot Allman, San Jose Mercury News. For any of the 3 players, what is the... Yeah, I did it because I want to get... Okay. 3 players, yeah. What? Look, I just flew in. Give me a break. For the 2 players, what is the easiest thing from what you've seen in scouting Stanford now? What will be the easiest thing tomorrow night, and what will be the most difficult thing?
Do you want to take that first, Kaela?
I mean, I think honestly, it's a Final Four. I don't really think there's anything easy, but I think we just have to play our game. Honestly, Stanford, they're playing really, really well right now, and I think, what was it, 80 assists on 105 field goals is what they're doing in the tournament right now. So that's pretty crazy. They're sharing the ball well. They're shooting the ball well. And, they're getting scoring from a lot of different players and production from a lot of different players. So, we've been playing really well on the defensive end. I think that's something we're definitely going to have to continue.
Yeah, just really going off of that. Don't really have much to add.
Anything else for the student athletes? Question right here.
Asia, question for you. South Carolina has really sort of made its bones on the defensive end of things. But do you think your offensive versatility is something that maybe sometimes gets overlooked? And do you feel like you're able to change the perception of South Carolina offensively with what you're able to do on the floor?
I don't know, honestly. I think we all have different style of game, and I think that we all adjust to our system, and that's what makes our system so great. And I really wouldn't say that it gets my offense gets really overlooked, honestly. I think I just kind of play my role, and that's something that we've all done on this team. So I honestly wouldn't say it gets overlooked.
Question over here from Richard.
Yeah, hey, Richard Deitch, Sports Illustrated. This is for both Asia and Kaela. What would you say was the most difficult moment for you this season, and how did you and/or your team overcome it?
Can you take that first, Kaela?
That's a really good question. Most difficult moment? I mean, I think, any of the losses that we had this season were all difficult. I mean, I think obviously starting off with Duke, I think that hit us pretty hard. But I think we've found a way to learn from each one of those experiences and to, not just take them as losses, take them as lessons as well. So I think we've just found a way to, take a little bit of adversity and just come back from it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the losses that we kind of overcame throughout this season.
Question right over here.
Thanks. Lindsay Jones from USA Today. This is for both of you guys. What's one thing specifically that Coach Staley has done for you to help you improve your game this season?
Can you start that, Kaela? Thanks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a ton of things. But coming in, I think for me it was just really on the defensive end, and just kind of staying engaged and staying locked in with whatever we're doing, and whatever's going on. So it's for me, I think it's just been a way to not only be effective offensively, but just be an overall player and be effectively defensively as well. And especially when I had a little lull there where offensively I wasn't doing great. I had to find a way to stay on the floor and be productive while I was there.
I don't think I can actually pinpoint how much she's really helped me with my game, honestly. She's helped me all around, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, throughout. Just taking the game in and just knowing that. What do you always say? When you always give something to the game always gives it back to you, or something like that. Yeah, the game is a gift, and you put in what you put in, and it's gonna return what they think you deserve.
Thank you, ladies. That's all the time we have for the student athletes. We will dismiss them back to the locker room. They will be available there until 11:40, and we will continue with questions for Coach Staley. Thanks. Nice job. We'll start here with Michelle.
Michelle Smith, ESPNW. Don, when you played for Tara in the Olympic year in '96, did you appreciate then what you appreciate about her now as a coach?
I do. The '96, that entire year, just opened my eyes to seeing basketball coached and played at a different level. The amount of pressure that was on our team and on Tara, she made us feel all of the pressure that was on her. She didn't want the team to fail, and I feel like from my experiences with her, she taught me how to approach the game, how to approach pressure situations, and how to execute while being under that amount of pressure.
Question right here in the front row.
Stephen Hawkins with the AP. Don, I know you've been to Final Fours as a coach. I kind of want you to reflect back, kind of a two-part. When you look back at your time as a player, are there still experiences from that Final Four that you still draw on that maybe you try to give to your players? And also, as part of that Final Four, obviously you played Tara, your team played Tara twice on the way to their 2 championships, and you faced Gino in his first NCAA tournament. Do you remember much about them as coaches back then as a kid, or did you even pay much attention to that at that point?
Well, I didn't pay much attention to the coaching when I was playing, and the emotions that as I reflect on participating in the Final Fours and not being able to win a national championship is the thing that fuels me as a coach to check that box off. And fortunately, I've been around some great players to get us back at this point to compete for a national championship, and hopefully our day has come.
Next question in the back corner.
Coach Wendell Barnhouse, American Sports Network. There's been a lot of talk, Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, talking about maybe a women's coach in the NBA. And what do you think it's going to take to have either a women's coach a men's team at college or at the NBA level?
Opportunity. Basketball is basketball. I don't think it doesn't have a gender. It has a mind. It has an approach. It has a willingness, and given the opportunity, women can excel in this game. As you can see, Becky Hammond's doing a great job, and you need more people like Coach Popovich to give them opportunities to learn, to grow, and to embrace it. And I don't think he sees gender. I think he sees someone that has a great basketball mind, that's tireless, and once you're given that opportunity, you see great things come out of it.
Question right here.
Cedric Bailey, Levita News and BGC Sports. Other coaches, do you communicate with them, or do they contact? You don't have to say their names, but do they just share words of encouragement for you? Because you have to plan your schedule at the beginning of the season, how you're going to do this. And then my other part of the question is, how'd you get the name Miss Magic growing up?
Yeah, I talk to other coaches. Definitely, if you're in this game long enough, you want to create an edge, no matter where you are, and you do it through your network of friends and coaching to figure out how you can make your team better, and we often do that. As far as Magic, growing up in Philly, I like to say that my game was probably more open court and more flashy than your regular average player, and probably I like to pass the ball, and Magic was the best to do it.
Question back here from Richard.
Yeah, Dawn, philosophically, when Coates went down, how did you and your coaching staff approach what you were going to do afterwards? And it was interesting to hear Tara Vanderveer talk about how you may actually be a tougher team to guard right now because the ball is spread more, and seems like there's more avenues for you to attack offensively.
Well, when Coates went down, obviously we were concerned. She's someone that has contributed to our program for the last 4 years. She's gotten us SEC championships, both the regular season and tournament championships. She's got us to the Final Four, and you exhale for a second because you feel bad for her. And then once that moment passes, you got to get your healthy bodies ready to go. That you got to get their minds ready. You got to get them ready spiritually, physically, emotionally. And then we never looked back. We never fretted it. We never, felt like we didn't have enough in the room to get it done. The part that I'm, proud of is the way that they've come together. They've actually have gotten closer because of it. And that's what you need your teams to do in an adverse moment. And you cannot, you can't foresee, the chemistry part of it. A lot of what we're doing is because of the closeness of this team, because of Elena's injury, and that's how you want your team to respond.
Question here in the front row.
Don, Jerry Longman from the New York Times, longtime Philadelphia resident. You were talking about women coaching in the NBA, but the women so you and Tara are two of the most prominent women's coaches, but the opportunities for 4 decades for women to be able to coach women have been slowly declining. And how big of an issue do you see that as being in women getting a chance to coach women in college basketball, and how do you change the trend, the downward trend, I guess?
Well, I look at it like this. Obviously, women are playing at a high level, which makes our game attractive to men's coaches. So that's a great thing. It also reduces the amount of female coaches in our game because of it. So we've made it popular. We've made it appealing to male coaches, and now they want to, be a part of our game. But I think that when given an opportunity, just like men are given the opportunity to coach the women of our game, you tend to have some success with it. So, I don't think there should be a gender. I think there should be, opportunity, for, all women. I don't think we need to be overlooked at this point because, years ago, only women wanted to coach women because it wasn't the popular thing, but it's becoming more popular. So, I hope ADs and administrators are, not just looking for the male gender to coach our players. I'm one that thinks basketball is a place of utopia and fairness, and I want to be looked at as a coach and not necessarily as a female coach. And I hope everybody, approaches it that way. The numbers are looking like it's geared towards that, and I know probably some of my other female colleagues would beg to differ, probably differ in how I look at it, but my approach to the game has been, loving the game, and it loves me back, and that's the approach that I take, from it.
Question here from Mel.
No, Greenberg, you're still a player to me. Dawn, a couple weeks ago when Temple lost and the way they lost, Tanya was talking about seniors and the dynamic of when a game, you don't see it coming. You had a tough one against Tara in '92. How long did it take you to get over that?
I still remember that, and I think as many wins that I've been a part of, it's the losses that really sting. 90, 91, and 92, all were opportunities for us to win a national championship, but the last one was probably the hardest one. And I often look back on it and wish I had approached it a little differently because I do think I could have made Angela Taylor foul me, especially, they put her in the game just, to guard me in that last play, and I just popped out. I should have popped out and stopped. And at the rate, I can't say that. I can't continue. I could have made her foul me in that instance.
Question right here.
Hi, Don. Vicki Fulkerson from the New London Day in Connecticut. I was wondering, you played Mississippi State a couple times this season in really, really tough games. I was wondering, what makes them so tough to play, and are you not surprised to see them here as well as you?
Not surprised to see them here. They're, very well coached. They are experienced. Their team has been together for the last 3 or 4 years. They're very calculating in what they want to do from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, they're pretty stingy. And, Vic's done a great job at just building, getting, having some success in our league. And when you're having success in our league, when you're transitioned to the NCAA tournament, it puts you in a position where you're ahead of the game. And then, for how they defend, for how they rebound, and how they're calculating on the offensive end, I'm not surprised to see them here on the biggest stage of women's college basketball.
Question in the back, standing.
Yeah, hi, I'm Barry Horn from the Dallas Morning News. Just your men's team, does the South Carolina men's team have any benefits that you don't have?
Right now, the benefit is they'll probably get all of our fans because it's their first time going to the Final Four. But as far as, benefits, program benefits, no, we pretty much get what we want. It may be different. We get what we want in order for us to be successful, and that's what's great about our administrators, from our president to our AD, to our janitors. We get the same ovation as anybody on campus, not just basketball, football, women's soccer, tennis. All of us feel like, from our administrators, we feel like we're the only program at our university. And when you can make somebody feel that special all the time, it leads to being successful.
Question right here in the gray.
Thanks. Hi, Dawn. Howard Magdal. In terms of your offense, a lot of times your program's been described as sort of a defense-first team. You guys are consistently top 20 in offensive efficiency, though. This year, in particular, it seems like you have your most diverse offensive team. I'm curious whether you think that is the case, whether you think it's underrated historically, and if you think this offense gives you your best chance at a national championship.
Well, here's what's happened over the past few years. We didn't have as much talent as we have over, maybe the past 2 or 3 years. So we had to do it with defense and rebounding. So we build our program on just that because of the personnel that we have. Now that we have a more talented roster, we're more versatile. We can do a lot of different things. I'm not a systems coach, I play off the personnel that we have, and we put them in positions to be effective. A lot of times it's off the bounce, and a lot of teams that are here like to, Stanford and Connecticut, they're a passing offensive team, a system teams that rely on passing. We're a team that rely on putting the ball on the floor, ball screen action, and with some passing. So I think we have the best of both worlds in that if you take one thing away, we have some other things that we can rely on because we have the talent to do so.
Question here from Doug.
Is this year our best offensive year? I think we've been put in a situation where we've had to make adjustments, and when you've made adjustments and they work out, it seems pretty good. I thought our coaching staff did a great job. Once Asia Wilson went down for a 2-week period, we went to a smaller lineup, which helped us. And then when Coates went down, we just adjusted and we perfected, the offense that worked for us. And you're seeing us spread the floor a little bit and utilizing the talent that we have.
Question from Doug.
Hey, Dawn, Doug Feinberg, the AP. Two-part, just what did you learn as a coach 2 years ago when you guys fell just short in the Final Four? And along those lines, seeing UConn here year after year and the consistency, what makes it that difficult to keep on getting back here to the Final Four?
Well, what we've learned 2 years ago is probably, what we learned throughout our entire, coaching career and just in basketball. The margin of error is so small. I mean, if Alicia Welch makes a shot on one end, we're up 3 and ball game's over. But because she missed and we go down and we defended extremely well, so much so that we got a block shot and it was an air ball that, what is her name? Graduated. She put it back in. I forget her name. She's from Maryland, right? She put it back in, and that's the margin of error, an air ball that turned into to put them up by 1, and it's hard getting here. I mean, it's very difficult getting to the third weekend of the NCAA tournament, and for us, it's a uphill battle. But because of the conference that we play in, provides us a platform for us to, have some success in the NCAA tournament. With Connecticut and the way that they do things, at the rate that they do things, it's pretty special. I mean, they do a great job at running their system on both sides of the ball, and they make it, they make you rise up to their level of play year in and year out. And hopefully, by us being here and possibly continuing to play them in the regular season and hopefully the postseason, you get a little bit closer to reducing the margin of error, because that's what it is. You have to continue to reduce the margin of error against a team that, so stingy on both sides of the ball.
We have time for 2 final questions in the back.
Don, Wendy Parker, Basketball Times, Blue Star Media. Following up on the offensive development you talked about earlier, you brought in Melanie Balcom to do some offensive analytics. How did that come about, and what kind of insights have you gotten from that? How much has that helped with the personnel that you have this year?
Well, when we found out that Melanie wasn't returning to Vanderbilt, we wanted to keep great basketball minds in our game. The guys do it all the time. There's not a great coach on the men's side that is jobless without wanting to be in that position. I just thought it was a great opportunity for us to capitalize on bringing in a great offensive mind into the fold, and it's worked out terrifically. She's just, our coaching staff has been together for most of us for 9 years now, and sometimes you're hearing the same things and you're doing the same things, and the things that you're doing work. But you bring someone like Melanie into the fold, and she just gives us a different perspective on things. Melanie is one that breaks it down. I mean, she likes counters to everything that she does. And sometimes we look for, maybe 1 or 2 options where she's looking at how the defense is playing and how we can still run the same play and get maybe a 3rd or 4th option out of it, and constantly throughout the year, that's what she's helped us with.
Last question in the back there.
Hi, Don. Gus Contreras with NPR. For people who don't follow the season throughout and are only catching the Final Four right now, for any of the other 3 teams, how would you describe or explain to someone how to beat a team like UConn who's won 111 straight games?
Well, to beat a team like UConn, I mean, you have to prep for them, not just in a tournament play. You have to prep for them all season long. You have to work on something that is effective against them, and you have to perfect it, from day one. And you keep working. They do have the luxury of working on things throughout the year because they aren't, they don't have a whole lot of competitive games in their league. So for us, we play them in mid-February. They have, a month and a half to get ready, to perfect the game against us. And also with their regular season, they've played so many top level teams in the country, that they're already ahead of the game, and just including their style of play. Again, they make you rise to their level of play. So in order for you to beat a team like UConn, you gotta be given opportunities to play them, not just once a year. I think some of the things that we did in the game against them this year, if given the opportunity to play them on Sunday, we've been working on those things since then. So that's something that you have to do. It's all about preparation. You can't come into, a tournament like this and think you can beat them off of one day of preparation.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.